What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Backliners Podcasts, Aggro and Barracuda, as per usual. Sorry we missed last week, but, you know, it's I'm kind of at the mercy of my son's schedule and all facets of my life. And, you know, he will continue to own me. And I just know that's how it's going to be. But yep. it's gonna be. Oh, okay, your audio isn't on. Unlucky. We're working through it. It's the usual type of thing. Is this what I normally try?
Hello.
Yep, there we go. That's what I normally try.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Welcome back.
Yeah, who knows what unhinged take I'm gonna have on this podcast, because my brain is yet again not functioning. My brain may never function again. Barra, have you considered that? Because not only have I a child, but I'm old. And that. It already was barely functioning.
Exactly.
I've had a kid, so I won't have I won't have good sleep for the foreseeable future. And
he stole most of your brain power anyways.
Right. He stole most of it. And he continues to burn away at it. And I'm ancient, not in terms of overall human health, but just in terms of like esports, gaming industry. I'm already well past my prime, as Mifflin would usually.
Yeah, your grave is already dug. You just have to get in it at this point.
And honestly, if there's a pillow and a blanket in there, I might hop in willingly. At this point, the thought of, dude, I was playing a game with my good pal Shane, who is an effects artist at High Res, a couple weeks ago, and he goes, all right, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna go have 8 uninterrupted hours of sleep and wake up rested tomorrow. And I've literally thought about it every single night since then. It was maybe the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me. It has lived rent-free in my head. The thought of 8 uninterrupted, actually restful hours is somewhat akin to wanting your childhood bed back. You know what I mean? It's just I just know I'm not gonna get it for a long time, and maybe ever, and that's okay.
So how is your sleep right now? What's your typical night routine?
It totally depends on the night. Most nights
So he mixes it up.
He mixes it up, yeah. He doesn't want you to get too comfortable.
Yeah.
We got a new bassinet for him because he was not sleeping very well in the bassinet. And then he did have 2 nights where he slept really well, and that was absolutely massive. The reason that everything for a baby costs so much money is because they know that you'll reach a point where you would spend any amount of money to have any amount of nice things happen. If we gotta use one, it's totally fine. But dude, these you can buy freaking. There isn't we're looking at $200 bassinets, all this kind of stuff. We found a good one that was barely used for $15. A bassinet is basically a crib but smaller that you put next to your bed. Because they can't be in a full crib, because they can't have they can't have anything where if they roll over, it could seal against their mouth, because then they can suffocate, because they can't tell if they're suffocating and
so they're useless.
Bro, that is the beginning of how useless newborns are. They don't know anything about anything. They don't get out of their own way.
So far behind the meta.
Yeah, I mean, their heads are too heavy for their necks. They can't support their own heads, so you have to be holding it at all times, because they'll just lop their head to the side and they can hurt themselves. There's a million things like that. But yeah, so bassinets are basically soft edge. It has the little mesh, so that if he were to roll and push his mouth and face up against the side, he could still breathe.
That's not funny, but it is.
No, I mean, it's troll. That's just
You
how
have
it
to
is.
spend like $200 so your baby can breathe at night.
Oh, I mean, don't even get me started on changing tables and all that kind of stuff that you need. But
You have to buy a changing table?
yeah, of course. You gotta have a clean place to change them that has plenty of like storage.
Like a
and,
specific table for changing?
I mean,
can't
you
just use,
could just like get a table, I suppose, but you don't want to because as they get older, he's gonna start rolling, and so you don't want him to be able to just roll off the changing table. You want to have like lots of good, easy access like storage for your diapers and your butt cream, of course, your butt spatula to apply said butt cream. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a spatula that we use to just just give a little swipe.
Like a kitchen spatula, or they have like
smaller.
a specific.
Yeah.
They don't just. Wait.
What do you mean? I mean, I could just. I mean,
Is it just a kitchen spatula?
more or less. Yeah, I could send you a picture of it.
No, I don't want a picture of it. I'm just wondering,
It's
like,
not
do you just go
it's
to
not
like
poopy or anything like that. We just after we cleaned him, we put a little butt paste on it so that he doesn't get chafing, and then we just swipe it up his butt, and then we wipe it on the inside of the diaper, and then it's good.
I feel like he should just be able to take care of himself. Like natural selection, surely, like. Our babies are so weak.
Oh, they are beyond worthless. For a long time, too. Like, for a really long time. He's not...
Yeah, you're going to be stuck with him forever.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, until they're like 4, they just like can't do anything of value. And that's just how it is.
And then 4, he's going to get to work. You know?
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, please, in this economy, in this well-established capitalist nation, my man is going to be absolutely working by the time he's 2. He can.
The stream's gonna be on.
Seriously, man, I've literally thought about just like turning on because my sleep schedule. This is the podcast content everyone wants. It's like he's usually eating around midnight, and then he can go up to 4 hours without eating. So anytime between like 2. We usually have to wait
4 hours?
Right, so it's usually like 2 to 4 hours is kind of the window.
2 to 4? Like even during the night?
Yeah. So it's
Feed
like...
yourself with your butt spatula, my guy. Like,
how is he gonna do that? What do you mean?
I don't know.
He can't use it for the butt, let alone he can't use it for the intended purpose, let alone a different
Can he even
purpose.
feed himself?
No, are you serious? What? You've got to be trolling.
Grab food?
This has got to be a bit. You cannot be thinking he can feed himself. There's no shot. This has got to be the I don't think Disney movies are good of this. Like that was where I'm just getting griefed intentionally.
I'm just digging the baby trail further and further to see where I can go.
No, that's good. No, I think it's good.
I took care of myself when I was a baby.
Right? Yeah, you just pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. Yeah, so I have to I wake him up and feed him and change him and then try to get him to go back to sleep. But if he doesn't wake up, if I have to wake him up around like 4, that means that I can't really get him down. Sometimes my best time, one time I got him to eat, changed him and put him back in his bassinet and he was asleep in like 15 minutes. And I literally felt like I won worlds. Like that was like one of the greatest moments of my entire life.
Are you like pit crewing the baby?
I'm trying
Nice.
and failing the vast majority of the time. I'd say most of the time that process takes about an hour.
So goodness.
Most nights I'm not getting to bed until like 4 or 5 a.m. I would say. And I can't sleep before that because then I don't wake up and I'm not like with it enough to like help. So a lot of times I'm like going to sleep around 5, waking up at like 9 or so, doing some stuff, helping out, trying to get a nap in at some point for a couple of hours, and then doing it all again.
Wait, so are you guys still like sharing the same bed, or are you guys like cycling?
Yeah, no,
that'd be so rough if he cries.
Yeah, oh, and he does. Yeah, you wake up a lot like during those sleeping times because he's just crying and the other person's like still getting up out of bed or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like me and Destiny, we would just trade off like every night. Like
that is a strategy for sure. I know someone was telling me that like their baby wasn't a great sleeper in the bassinet either, so they would sleep in a separate because you don't want to put them too far from you because they just wake up so often, and a lot of times you can just like rock them a little bit or put a pacifier in their mouth and then they'll like go back to sleep. and you want to check on them because babies can have bad things happen to them while they're sleeping that you want to like be there to help with. They can spit up and all that kind of stuff. They're little like blackout drunk people. That's really all they are. Like you have to like make sure they're on their side so that if they do spit up, it's like coming out of their mouth, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, they were like, yeah, we would just sleep. We would we had the bassinet in the guest room, and we would just alternate nights where we like sleep in there. So yeah,
I think that's the strat. I mean,
we talked about it for sure, but our bed's comfy, and we've got nicer sheets.
True, yeah.
The sheets are what it's all about for sure. All right, let's talk a little bit about the things we should talk about for at least a little bit, because I don't know. I did not get a nap today, and so I am quite sleepy.
Yeah, we can cook this.
And hungry.
Do you want to go?
Cook. Let's talk Levi's. Yeah, let's talk Levi's here. If no one has heard, another roster change has occurred. The Leviathans have dropped Zapman and picked up Panda Cat to play ADC for them. This came like pretty well delayed, like really wasn't looped in with all those other roster changes. But I know Coast was saying on Twitter publicly that they had asked him to join that team. And he said no, and stayed with the Hounds. I guess we can get into that a little bit later. But what do you think about, not even thinking about Panda Cat, but just like the decision to drop Zap? What was your reaction whenever you heard that was happening?
Kind of shocked, because I feel like it was kind of out of left field because, as you said, it was so much later than all the other roster changes. So I don't know if SMITE players just get bored as... I mean, this is like our first like break in like years.
On God, I think that is absolutely a factor.
And normally we have like sometimes like a 1 or 2 week break. But normally we're like, even if we have like a break, we're still scrimming in the meantime. But this break was long enough to where we don't scrim. So the Levi's change to me just comes out of left field. Especially because I don't think... Okay, normally Zap in Spring Split is just, like, running it down, like, inting, and I really don't feel like Zap was playing bad.
No?
As far as, like, Zap historically does in Spring Split, like, he obviously cares more as the year goes on and gets closer to Worlds. Which... I don't know if it's just a factor of adapting and FineOK coming in, and they're like, yo, we don't like this dynamic. If it's something behind the scenes. It's just a really weird time. Obviously, Panda is probably like the GOAT ADC, like mechanical-wise, but Zap brings a lot of like shot calling to a team, and historically that's what Leviathans needed, but that was old Leviathans, so I don't know if new Leviathans still need that strong of a leader, shot caller, picks and bans kind of guy. So obviously they're two like GOAT ADCs, but I know PCAT's close with like Shinto and FineOK, so from a friend's perspective and from a get along perspective, it makes a lot of sense. But it just really feels out of left field. Like, it's just really random. I don't know if this really makes them better or worse.
Yeah.
It obviously makes them a more duo lane centric team because that's how PCAT likes to play. But I don't know if they were just... I don't know. It's just so confusing.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. When what actually happened from my perspective was I was watching the Hazer interview that he did with Netrioid and Genetics after their roster change. If you haven't watched that video or any of Hazer's videos, I thought he did a lot of really great interviews with a lot of the people around the changes that were happening. So definitely go check those out. Hazer SMITE on YouTube. If you just search that, you'll find them. That video is unbelievable, by the way. I couldn't... if we were like if each team had like a PR team associated with them. The Warriors PR team would have probably been fired after that video. Was not, in my opinion, the way that I would have necessarily gone about it from their perspective. But it's not, it's nothing bad. I was just like, it was just a very like funny video to watch to me. Anyways, at the end of that video, Hazer mentioned like, oh, more stuff might be brewing. And I was like, really? I haven't heard anything about it. So I DM'd him to just be like, yo, were you like trolling, or is there actually something going on there? And he mentioned that the Levi's were like considering making some changes. And when I read that, I was like, yeah, maybe, like, I kind of get it. That is a group of guys who have seen nothing but success being in the league. Zatman is really the only player on that team who has been on a team that is not a top team. Really, at nearly any point of their career. Fine, when he first joined, I think he was on Cryptic, but for the last however many years, it's been nothing but success for him. Adapting, maybe his worst regular season team was the Pittsburgh Knights from a few years ago. Maybe Radiance. Sure. But those teams weren't, bad by any stretch. And the Leviathans haven't been bad all the time. I think they've had some stretches where I would say that they played pretty badly, but no one thought that this team would just be roll over and be complete poop at the end of the year, right? Like, and so that's why I am also in the same boat of very surprised. And I agree with what you said at the very end there. I don't know how much better this makes this team. When we first saw this roster at the very beginning of the season, the biggest tension point that I talked about was you are going from Panatom, who is not only the best jungler in the world right now, but probably the best player in the world right now, and also does it in a team environment, in a way that team wanted to play the game, that is inherently not jungler friendly, and particularly not jungle friendly to carry style junglers. We are at a point in the league, and this has been on my mind just because I've been listening to a lot of Travelers Proc episodes. If you haven't checked out Mike and Aurora's podcast, you definitely should. Bear, if you haven't listened to those, you would really love them. Like, I mean that sincerely, because it's literally just like reminiscing about old lands and like old teams and that kind of stuff, and you would definitely get a kick out of it. The longer you've been in the league, the more you'll get that aspect of it, but you'll also get to get filled in if you weren't here for it. So it's
Dude,
really.
I was thinking about Shing today.
Dude, I was thinking about Famous Hate the other day as an ADC. Mike, I can't wait. I'm sure they'll ask you to go on at some point. I hope that they ask you about because they always talk about these Scrim Beast ADCs. There was like a couple of them in NA that were insane Scrim ADCs and terrible SP, not terrible, but like never performed in SPL. And I don't think they weren't thinking of Famous Hate. Who were they? They were thinking of Gumi, as someone who like. Do you remember Gumi? Gumi.
No. What team was that on?
Gumi was on. I feel like he might have been on. Boy.
Yeah, I don't remember that name at all. And he was in SPL?
Yeah, he was in SPL for a little bit. I feel like it was like season 2, season 3. He was on like oh god, I can't be trying to do these I used to be so
Ultra
good at these
throwbacks.
like, yeah, I used to have all this so sorted in my brain, and now I just like have lost it with age and time and baby. God, who was he on a team with? It was like wasn't he on a team with like, he wasn't Randozzo's, but it was a team like that. I don't know. Anyways, really good podcast content as per usual for me. But yeah, I don't even know. Why did I start down that path? I don't know. I'm completely sober. Just
Derailed a little bit.
Totally punch drunk from lack of sleep. But yeah, overall, My God, this is just an episode for me. Where am I?
Does it make them better?
I don't know. Probably not, right? Like, oh, okay, I got there. Over the years, they were talking to DJ Pernicus about how when he was playing, his style of jungler right now would be really valuable. And people have identified that type of player who's flexible and willing to do different things out of the jungle, like what Captain Twig has done throughout his career, that is a viable strategy. But when DJ was playing back in like season 3, season 4, if you weren't Andinster or adapting style jungler, if you weren't the kill everyone, clean up the, huge KDA, like flashy plays type jungler, everyone thought you were just bad. And there's some degree of that still. But I think more Smite fans understand that players like Captain Twig, who are going to int in fights, are benefiting their team. And that's how teams are structured. Panatom is a player who can play that more flexible, more role dependent style and do it on a little bit less farm, but then have carry style impact. And that's why he's so good and why everyone has so much respect for his game, because he bridges that gap better than any other player. Adapting is, if we're talking about this as a line, it's a spectrum. Captain Twig is on the I'm not gonna play selfishly type of play style, and Kenneth is on the I'm gonna pentakill them, do whatever I can do. I'm not going to get into any fight that doesn't look good for me. And to be clear, I don't mean to talk down that style. It has been one of, if not the most successful styles of any role in the game historically. And Kenneth's resume needs no backing up. But those are very hard styles to switch back and forth from. And Panatom is somewhere near the middle, but Kenneth is on the pole. Like, I would say he and now Oath, like he and Oath are that type of player where they will not get involved unless they can play cleanup. And that is good. Like, they should stick to their style. That works. But that also means the team needs to be on that page, right? They need to know that that's how it's going to be. And if Shinto is the I'm going to vacuum up all the farm type player, and Adapting is the more selfish with the farm type player, we knew there was going to be tension there. And I don't think that's been like all of their losses. Was it really Pole that set you off? Are you serious? My God. My God. I wasn't sure if you like got a text or a message or something like that. You were losing it. I was just buying
you were
time.
Just talking about adapting on the pole. I was like, do whatever you can to make money, King. Like, you got this.
I mean, he's racking them up on like where he is. You know what I mean? That's you gotta respect it.
Gotta get that farm somewhere.
Gotta get it somewhere. My lord. As Pete says in chat, but Barra been sleeping. Like that isn't fair. Although you said that you weren't getting great sleep before this, so you have to excuse both of us. Legally, you can't hold us liable for any of this.
Sorry, Adapting.
Hey man, Kenan knows how to party. I'm sure he can throw down, no doubt.
How is this related to the roster change? Where were you going?
What do you mean? Everyone in the world knows where I was going with that, except for you, because you're thinking about Kenneth on the pole. What are you talking about? Where are you going? What do you mean?
You're talking about adapting for so long, and then you just dropped the pole. I just don't know where you're going.
The team dynamic was always going to be tense, not like personality-wise, but playstyle-wise, because Kenneth is such a different style of jungler that style seems to automatically clash with Shinto's style. On paper, like
are you saying Zap got scapegoated or what?
I mean, someone did, right? And it's not that like and it isn't Shinto or Adapting's fault either. It's like when this team,
it's Zapman's.
It's Zapman's, right? Exactly. It's the poll's fault, I guess. I don't know. It's too alluring. You can't stay away from it. you can't get away from it.
No, mid scrims and you just turn around, Adapting just scored.
Kenneth, are you gonna gank? He turns around.
Okay.
Where's my jungler? Oh, he's over there.
He's spinning right now.
I really hope that whatever team is getting absolutely owned by Adapting when scrims start. Wait, this could be you. It's not, next time Kenneth is owning you, which will happen eventually, can you just say, oh my god, he's dancing on us? Or he's totally twerking on us right now? Like, I think that would really be a hit. And no one will get it. But it'll be very
I'll
funny
end
for us.
scrims against Leviathans, so they think the change is good.
Perfect. We talked about that. That's a good strat.
Every game. Exactly.
That's a good strat.
Ooh,
anyways.
Goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. What the chances that they're significantly better seems pretty small because I don't think that their problem was duo lane centered. I think their problem was that they have a bunch of styles that don't mesh very well. Kenneth likes to pull dance. Zap likes disco. Like Fine OK is more into like, I don't know.
He's streaming, making content.
Like traditional Bulgarian dancing. There was just always gonna do it. But look, Panic Cat is again a player whose resume you can't question. I don't know how much SMITE he's been playing. I imagine.
Resume?
How does he do?
What can't he do?
When the lights go down and the music goes up, how does he perform? Honestly, what's messed up is that of all the ADCs, Panda and Zap are probably the two you want if the lights are going down and the music's going up. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say which would be more valuable in that scenario.
Maybe they just wanted, their ADC to be in the house with everything that was going on.
Steve kept going, where is Kenneth? And you just can't say it with words. You gotta see it with your eyes. Boy, I hope this bit isn't offensive to Kenneth or something like that because it's been going on for so long, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up for the rest of the year. So just tell me now if it bothers you, because otherwise I'm just gonna assume it doesn't. Yeah, who knows? Are you surprised at all that Zap hasn't if you're the Glads, the lowest team in the league right now, are you DMing Zap, seeing what's up? Like, again, it's not disrespectful to Stu, it's just it's how it works. It's a business. Are you sending him a message?
I feel like they wouldn't drop Stu just because him and Jake are boys.
A lot of good that did Jake. That
is very true. Yeah. Maybe just don't team with your boys, unless it's Vin. Vin's a good boy to team with. Every other boy is they're just not great.
My God, Kenneth's got a pole dancing routine. Bear's calling Vin good boy during scrims. Like, what is going on?
Okay. No, I don't think Glads are. Sorry, I'm trying to stay focused.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't think Glads are going to. I don't know if Steve will get back in. Just based off of how teams are and how teams value their ADC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Steve is valued in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people in the league see him as the GOAT for some reason. So I don't know how highly valued he is among other pro players to drop their ADC and to pick him up. Because also a lot of people know how Steve is during scrims now.
Yep.
which some scrim sessions just, it's not going to be Steve's day.
Nope.
You know, you're just, you load in game one, you're like, okay, our block is chalked. You know, there's not really anything coming out of this. And I also don't know if Jake and Steve would ever get along.
Sure.
They would probably have like a few days and
God. Oh man, what I would give to hear that duo lane.
Oh yeah, that would be the most entertaining team
funny.
talk.
My God, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know if Steve will be able to make it back in.
You were sorry, Timmy put it in my head with this message in chat, and my first thought was I shouldn't bring that up, but here I am. When the Zungle was on the table for you a few years ago, that was not with Jake in support, right? That was going to be Laporte. That was going to be Lazarus support for that team. Am I remembering that properly?
Yeah.
You didn't almost create that powerful.
Can you imagine if I did though? There's another universe out there where Zungle was a thing.
It's true. And imagine if you guys would have won Worlds with Zungle. Steve would have solidified himself as the greatest player of all time. No doubt.
I value Steve a lot in a role swap kind of change because I feel like he's the kind of player that if he role swaps, he'll put a lot of time in and dedicate himself to it. But he's basically mastered ADC at this point, so there's not really a lot of reason for him to like keep grinding in a productive way. Obviously, he's still going to stream a lot, but there's a difference in like streaming or playing ranked to get better and just streaming to make content.
For sure.
Not saying he's just like... Obviously, as the year goes on, later towards Fall and Worlds, like Zap obviously tries a little harder. But
look, I agree with you.
But also, back to what I said earlier about the spring split, I really don't think Zap was costing them games.
Neither do I.
Don't know if it was like an internal thing, or like as you said, like a lot of differing styles on the team. But also, with what you're saying about differing styles, you're bringing in a selfish ADC player, and Zap is a very non-selfish ADC player.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. Panda has, at times, shown some flexibility there. Like, I felt like the years where he was playing with Baskin, there were games where he would be willing to be the bait, you know, eat the cooldowns, get gone on, and let Baskin shine. But that's when I feel like most people would hear that and think, oh, that's easier to do and better if you're a lower confidence player. But I think you need to be at the peak of your confidence in your skill as a player to be willing to get killed in fights, to let someone else do their thing, because you know that you don't need to worry about looking good, you know? And Panda coming back after an absence, his confidence might not be at that level for a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like my main concern with the Leviathans, that they haven't proven to me isn't a concern, doesn't get changed here. So that's my thought. But that being said, I still thought they might just mess around and put it together for a weekend and win Worlds. And that's still the case.
I will say... With Steve on the team, it's a very mid to late game focused team, and with Pika on the team, it can be a very early duo focused team.
Sure,
and
I agree with that.
Pika will just outright win you games. If you get him at lead, he will just outright win the game for you.
Yep.
So I think they'll get more wins, but I would like to see how they're doing by like week 3 or week 4.
Yep, I agree. Should be fun. Excited that Panda's back in the league. Just one of the most exciting players of all time. Hope this isn't the end for Zap. But we'll see what he wants to do the rest of the year and moving forward. I don't know. To your point, like about him doing a role swap type of thing, I don't think there's anyone besides Paul. I don't think there's anyone besides Paul, that includes Panatom, Yarkor, guys like that I would want more on my team going into the final split of the year than a remotivated Steve. Like, I felt like he was remotivated when he joined the Leviathans on that run. You could just feel that energy and that like passion behind him again. And that just made a huge difference for that team. And I think if that's the state he's in where this has motivated him, I would do whatever it takes because I think he's that valuable. If he's like, yeah, it's fine, I wasn't really feeling it. You know, he's taken breaks before, and if he's not really feeling it, it's not worth forcing it. But yeah, I agree. That's where I am on that. Okay, now that we're basically at the end of the show, time-wise, that we should be doing, I got to talk to you about Factor meals. I thought about doing this really terrible bit where I just like said everything like verbatim in a really weird way. That'd be a terrible way to do this ad read, but now it's like in my head.
Now you have to.
Intro. Please personalize. With the That's my personalized intro. I'm kidding. Boy. Okay, now there's no recovering. This is such a disaster. Factor's gonna listen to this and be like, why are we sponsoring these absolute clowns? Chat, okay, please, dear listener, buy Factor, because now I have griefed our partnership and you need to come in and save me, okay? You just need to. I take responsibility. I've griefed it and I'm leaving you to pick up the pieces. But luckily, these pieces are delicious and very convenient. So there are worse pieces to get. Like it could be worse, you know. Okay, never mind. So that's my personalized intro. With the busy fall season just around the corner, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Or you might feel bad for your sleep-deprived podcast host who is clearly on the last fringes of their one brain cell remaining trying to get through one freaking ad read. My God. Either one of those, if you're, you know, take your pick. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. They've got a bunch of different great options. You get to keep up your energy with lunch to go, which sounds very nice. Effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls and salad toppers. Wholesome makes me think they might compliment you while you're eating them. They don't say that, but they might, you know. You'll only find out if you order Factor. So get to it. So if you want to get to it and get your bunch of what is happening to me, man? What is happening to me? Let's give you some good details here. You get what details do you need? Who am I kidding? They're ready in just 2 minutes. There's no prep, no mess. You got tons of great options that are protein plus, calorie smart, you name it, they've got it. Head to factormeals.com/backliners50 and use code backliners50 to get 50% off. That's code backliners50 at factormeals.com/backliners50 to get 50% off. Please take pity on me and do it out of just complete, you know, I don't even know the right word that I'm looking for. Like pity, I get. Yeah, you can look down on me in this moment. As long as you go to factormeals.com/backliners50 and use code backliners50 to get 50% off. We're cool in that. Sorry, Barra, anything to add on that ad read? No. Why did I just let you do it? What is this?
Perfect. I don't think I could have done it better. I think you did a fantastic job.
So patch notes also happened. We're going to talk about like one... honestly, I thought like maybe we should just not talk patch notes this week because we took so long talking about the poll. But, you know, we can.
Is there a chance of you getting sleep between now and next week's podcast?
Nope.
Oh, well, you can talk patch notes.
There's a small chance. Well, I don't know, because I do want to do like
What do you want to do?
I don't want to get sucked into. I can't. My brain obviously cannot handle another. Like, I'm gonna get sucked into this for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? And I might literally, like, you know the meme where like the guy's head is like caved in and he's like drooling. Like, that's gonna be me. In that amount of time.
You were like spinning your wheels there, so
I don't want to. I don't know where I am, bro. Whose show is this? Not mine for very long at this rate. And before, I want Gore to host the show. I don't blame you, dude. I really don't. So yeah, no more soul surges. There's that. Yep. And why did I start there? That's a good place to start. What are any of us supposed to say about that? Cool. We tried some stuff. We had some limitations on what we could do to change it, and we didn't feel like any of the changes we could make would be what people want out of them.
I like the soul surges, to be honest. I thought there was
some cool stuff. I thought there was some cool stuff. I'm gonna miss using them in arena for sure.
Did the community want them removed?
Yeah, I think that was the majority opinion. Is that people were down on soul surges. I don't think it was like an unsalvageable mechanic. I think that personally, with like some tweaks and some changes, it could, maybe come back one day and be very successful. But like I said, with the constraints that we had, for our options there, we didn't feel like we could get them to that point right now. And if the majority of people didn't want to have them, then we'll take them out. So yeah, we'll see in the future what the plan is with that. Fire Giants in arena, that's cool.
Yeah, that's truly out of left field.
Yep.
I have not played an arena game yet. Have you? I assume you play tested.
Oh yeah. I legitimately may have like ruined at least one playtest. Because
at least one, really?
Yeah. Look, man.
You. No sleep.
Arena tests historically are usually done for us for like skin testing and stability testing. And so normally we can, it's not there for balance. And I might have forgotten that we were testing something for balance when we were making these changes. And I might have gone with my normal playstyle in arena, which is sprinting to the triple-double. That's 10 kills, 10 deaths, 10 assists. And so I might have griefed a little bit. In terms of speeding up the pace of the game a little. But as I argued in the moment, that is my... Because someone was like, this isn't the typical arena experience. And I was like, this is my typical arena experience because I do this in every arena I play. I personally think you shouldn't be allowed to go back to your fountain. I think it should be... I think the door should close.
I agree.
You leave one way and one way only. Is my personal philosophy. So that's how my arena games go. But, obviously, like, didn't actually troll it and got some good stuff, more so in later tests. But I think that the Pyroclast, like, having that, like, little dodgeball mechanic where you can just, like, shoot them at people because they're just, like, floating there is very cool, very fun, very SMITE feeling. Like, that doesn't feel like a Dota or, like, a League type of thing. It's, like, it's a little bit troll, and you got to be down in the action to really appreciate it, and I think that makes it like really fun.
Yeah, I've not played any arena games because I hate that game mode for the same reason you just said, because you can go back in your base, and I like arena when everyone's fighting, but if there's people that are like KDA saving, it's so annoying.
Illegal. Yep. Not in my games. Yeah. Bear, we should just run some arena in-houses, and I'll be sure to not be KDA saving. There's no chance.
Yeah, that's just the most fun way to fight.
Yep.
And the most fun way to play arena. So honestly, I mean, I play like 20 arena games a year, so I don't know if this will impact me much at all.
There you go.
But I mean, it decreases enemy take counter by 10, so I guess it's kind of important, but also, does the buff itself only last for 20 seconds?
Yes.
Because that seems so short.
Yeah, we mess a lot with that. Arena just like...
That's like one wave and
it's
over, right?
In Conquest, you get the Fire Giant buff, and it's there to help end the game. It isn't really supposed to be that in Arena. It's just supposed to be like a fun thing to fight over, and then you get this like, holy crap, I'm super strong little stretch. And you are CC immune the entire time.
Oh, okay.
So, and it feels awesome. They did not go with my suggestion of walling off the enemy base as well when you get Fire Giant.
When we were talking about this, I was like, oh yeah, that'd be really cool. Like, to just shut the doors and force everyone outside the base. Turn the Phoenixes off. Like,
yep, turn them off. I said, you gotta scrap. I think it's the correct call to not do that. But that's what I would, for my troll style, that's what I was looking for. But no, I think that would obviously not be the best gameplay experience. But yeah, it's if you haven't played Arena, I definitely recommend you do so, because I think the Underworld Arena is one of the most fun iterations of Arena we've ever made.
Agreed.
So big recommend. All right, couple items got some shifts. Crusher gets some attack speed back. Our Uller Medusa Neath looking a little more appealing with the Chiron little buff.
It is really funny that, Uller gets a buff, all the pin items get buffed, and then Panda Cat comes back. So I don't know if, like, he was working behind the scenes towards something, or,
just a happy little accident, maybe,
Yeah, that's super weird how that works.
Barrett, what do you mean? You can't complain to me. You got a Berserker's shield buff, and a Crusher buff, and a Brawler's buff. This is a Scotty buff. This is, like, all Scotty right here. Come on.
Yeah, you're not. Well, I mean, Scotty is good in Uller, so...
There you go.
Honestly... Okay, I'll take it.
There you go. Not so bad. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you think that this helps those types of hunters legitimately, the Crusher buff?
Well, the few times I bought Crusher, I felt like I was doing 0 damage to tanks. I was experimenting with Crusher over Dom, and every time I went Crusher, I was like, I'm never buying this item again.
Yeah, Dom is
and then I would buy the item again.
Sure.
And yeah, it never felt as good as I thought it would.
Sure.
So obviously it's still probably good on the like true ability.
Probably got to be like third item, right? Like,
I think it felt better with flat pin on it than the percent pin.
Sure. Yeah. For hunters in particular, that makes sense.
Yeah, because you would buy that item before, like in the old Crusher meta of like Crusher Aussie. You would buy those 2 items and just one-shot the ADC. And now that item just feels different hitting
well, neither of those items have flat pen anymore, right?
Yeah. So it's just... the curve and the item is just kind of tainted for me. Obviously, I still think it's good on like the true ability-based ADCs, but I think on the more auto-attack ADCs, probably like Medusa, you're still probably going Dom over Crusher.
Sure.
Just because the white damage on Medusa's it's just more important than your damage. Like you're spitting in a late game team fight, but it's not really like your main damage source, and you're not really caring about applying Crusher.
Sure.
And most of the time your dash is like you're not going to dash. Like you're not. It is a damaging ability, obviously, but you're not like counting it for Crusher most of the time.
Yep, makes sense to me. Speaking of Medusa, she did get a buff this patch. 10 more base damage and 5% more scaling on the 2. And enemies now take 10% more damage from Petrify if they are not looking at Medusa. It was 75% of the damage. Now it's 85% of the damage.
Yo, that's my god right there.
I feel like this is a pretty big buff to Medusa. Like,
yeah, that is actually.
The Petrify change, I think you will be noticeable, because I feel like that's an ability that when they're facing you, you're like, holy crap, I one-shot that guy. And when they're looking away, you're like, holy crap, my ult did nothing. Even though it obviously like isn't that
it
split. It feels that way. Yeah, like getting it a little closer, but not upping that like I absolutely one-shot that guy, I think will make her feel generally better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited about that. And then Neath as well. I feel like Neath is looking pretty nice as well here, Barry. A little spirit arrow.
I already thought Neath was pretty good. Her boxing potential is honestly not that bad. The worst part about Neath is just how long her 2 takes.
Yep,
her 2 takes in the current in the current year of SMITE, her 2 just takes so much longer than like it feels like every other hunter ability in the game.
Yes, like, it probably is.
For a trading ability, you want trading abilities to be fast. And I have done a lot of like insane plays with her 2, but in a competitive setting, it just feels really not reliable. Because if you spend that long on the cast and it misses, or if you start casting the 2 and they just jump on you, it's just such a bad ability in those. If you could cancel and backflip, I think it would be a lot better if they kept the cast time. But obviously, Neath has gotten so many buffs at this point. But I do think she got kind of a nerf when the root change went through.
Yes.
So her root isn't as reliable late game as CC, but I mean, she's just getting nonstop buffs, I feel.
Can you believe, I'm pretty sure this is actually true. I saw it on Twitter or something like that at one point, and I was like, no way that's true. And it could be false still. I could just be perpetuating lies. A big hobby of mine. But someone said that Neath has never been directly nerfed. And I was like, there is no shot that is true. And I scrolled through her wiki history, which is not 100% accurate by any means. But I did not see a single direct nerf in her wiki history. Which is just an incredible thing if it's true.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Isn't that mind-boggling if that's true?
I mean,
I'm sure she got a lot of items nerfed, like Season 2 Trans, you know, like, or that Heartseeker was the build then, right? Like,
yeah,
she was definitely meta, but it was almost always item dependent that made her meta.
But she's always been that ADC where it's not like an overbearing ADC, and she's not going to be that overwhelming presence that you're like, oh my gosh, that Neath just cooked me.
Bro,
whereas a lot of
tell
other
that
ADCs
to my Mannequin's Hidden Blade full pen build. I love that build so much. It's so fun. That has got to be one of the most fun builds in the entire game. Dear listener, if you have not played Mannequin's Mace or Mannequin's Hidden Blade, Neath, and gone all power and pen, like make sure you get Titan's Bane, make sure you get Heartseeker, Crusher, all that kind of stuff. And then make sure that you tell your team to buy Frenzy and Bracer, and then you ult someone late game and one-shot them. That's a backliner. It is pure bliss for you. You are God in that moment. You get to pick one person. You're like a solo laner in any given game. You get to pick one person in the enemy backline and go, you don't get to have any fun that game. And that's awesome. That's so fun for you. Try it out.
I will say Ares also got buffed, and that god does dumpster Neath.
True. Yeah.
Also, this Nua change is crazy, by the way.
I was going to say, bro, imagine dropping Steve and then seeing a Nua buff like this come out. Like, the Zapman Nua ADC, fearsome.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, increased the speed the fog moves. It was static at 300. Now it goes up by 20 per rank. So 300, 320, 340, so on and so forth. And now the number of clay soldiers you get at rank 1 goes from 1 to 2. Nua is one of the most criminally underrated gods at a high level. Nua is like the modern Hades, bro. Hades was like good for so long, and it just took so long for teams to figure out how to make it fit their comps, what types of builds to go for, where is it good in the draft, all that kind of stuff. Nua is going to become Hades at some point. I'm convinced, bro. She's so good. Her passive is one of the best passives in the entire game. It's a free CC.
Yeah, it is good.
It's broken. You one-tap people.
Oh. Yeah, I just think sometimes that character just does nothing. Unfortunately.
Yeah, skill issue, unfortunately. Am I allowed to say that legally? I don't know. Okay, yep, that's as much as I can muster, I think. Oh, any Charon thoughts? Like, how is he? Do you want him in your duo lanes and ranked?
I haven't played a ranked game. I haven't played a Conquest game since
there you go.
The tournament. So I haven't played a Conquest game, but I played an arena game with him when I think Glad Shield was bugged on him. And I think that was when you were like one-shotting everyone with like your one or two.
Oh, yeah. Don't like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I assume that's been fixed by now, right?
I would also assume that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was getting pooped on. But not like in playtests, but like in real life.
Where do I go with that?
You just keep on trucking, baby. Just keep on. So you just say so back, and then you just keep going.
Yeah. So Izanami, Charon, Mercury, Wukong, Susana, Zong all got nerfs. Looks like. I didn't know Susana was like overperforming. I guess he was. Same with Izanami.
Yeah.
I assume that maybe she was just dominating like the lower ranks or something. But also, like I said, I haven't played ranked in like a month and a half, so
sure.
I might have to play some ranked before the old like tournament this weekend, but maybe not. Maybe I just play some assaults, try to warm up and then just see what happens.
Yeah. How much are you gonna dominate?
You can do it.
Are you gonna dominate the All-Star event? Are you gonna absolutely destroy them? You're gonna PS4 on them?
My team looks really good, so I don't think I have to do much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking I'll just, play some assaults before that, go to the tournament, and just kind of hope I get carried.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I want to play ranked before that, and just do I want to play Conquest? Are there even like queues that are happening right now that aren't like, the Jake and Saw queue? That kind of seems like a death queue to me. What?
How does anyone be a pro gamer, Like, this is just an unreasonable amount of weight.
Yeah,
on
like,
your
I would
shoulders.
rather,
I'm sorry, just your tone that you're going with. Like, I just couldn't help but go. Like, it just. I definitely hear what you're saying. It's just. I couldn't help myself.
It's just such a hard thing to do. Like, I have to submit myself to, like, my teammates. And just see, like, where the wind takes me. And then I play ADC as well, which is just such a hard role to play in ranked. And it's just... I do know that my role is bad right now, which is what Coast was saying to me, so...
Oh, okay. Well, if Coast is saying it, then it has to be true.
Exactly, which is why Izanami got nerfed, because the role is just really bad, I'm assuming.
Yep, that's right. Sounds like you've got it all covered.
Thank you.
All right, time for our random question of the week, which we get from our Patreon Discord, patreon.com/backliners. If you want to go there and support me buying a third bassinet, because I'm sure it'll happen at some point. Oh no, this has happened. I literally knew this was going to happen. I read a random question of the week from this particular patron the other week, and then they came in the Discord and said, yo, you actually pronounced my name correctly. And I was like, and I read it, and I was like, oh, did I pronounce it like this or like this? And I said, oh, really? What did I say? I don't remember. And then they typed a third different way to say this name that I did not think of initially. And now I was like, oh crap, which one did they say it was? Because I don't want to get it wrong now that they intentionally told me. If I get a name wrong the first time and no one is like giving me a pronunciation guide, I don't feel bad basically ever. If someone tells me, I feel really bad. And so, but I'm not cheating. I'm not going to go look. I'm going to go, why did I say this the first time? This is not the way I would read this now. But I think it's Moe. I think. Now I'm going to check because I feel bad instantly upon trying to say it. Okay, yeah, nice. It was Moe. Nice. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Moe wants to know, what's the next? It's spelled M-O-I. I would think Moi or Moi before Moe. Why did I say Moe? I was just in the zone, I guess. Like, I was just reading through the threads of reality to get the... Anyways, the next video game or episode that's coming out that you are most excited for. For them, it's the Persona 3 Reload in August 6th for One Piece episode. Oh yeah, it was a big One Piece episode. I saw a bunch on Twitter about it. So that makes sense that you were excited for that. I'm excited every week for new Jujutsu Kaisen because that's my favorite anime of all time. And it's been going absolutely crazy right off the rip, as they typically do. So I'm excited
I've been wanting to watch
JJK.
that. I just keep forgetting about it.
Bro, right after this. No worries. That's that will get you prepped for the All-Star event, let me tell you. No spoilers, but it will prep you. I don't know why though. I just like the idea of you being like, what did he think was a spoiler that would prep me for the All-Star event when there's absolutely nothing? There is a game coming out that I'm excited about this year, and I can't remember what it is. And it's not that I'm not that excited about it. It's that my brain is that far detached from reality. Yep, that's my... Yeah, you've really got your money's worth there. Yeah, renew that Patreon subscription for sure. That's value. That's good stuff. Spider-Man 2! That's it, Minotaur. Thank you. I'm excited for the new Spider-Man game. That's it. Yep. I've been playing a lot of single-player games because I can't play multiplayer games because I have to leave at any given moment if Calvin starts to cry. So I've been playing a lot of Super Mega Baseball 4 on my PlayStation, which bangs. And I've been playing a lot of... I finally finished Horizon Forbidden West in the DLC. And that game was much better than I remember it being. I remember thinking like, oh, this isn't quite as good as Horizon Zero Dawn. I was hard inting. It is way better than Horizon Zero Dawn and is an incredible game. That's my favorite single-player franchise ever, maybe. And I'm doing a replay through right now because I was at the very end, and I just like jumped on, finished it, and I want to replay through it. And I think I'm gonna play Red Dead Redemption 2 because I've never played that one. That's a single-player game that I've never played. That everyone says is really good, but I love single-player games like that. Anyway, sorry, Barry. Go ahead.
Well, I don't really have one. I will say I've been really enjoying watching Destiny play single-player games, so I would say probably like Cyberpunk or Skyrim, because I really enjoy watching her play those. But for me specifically, I've been keeping up with anything coming out.
Yeah, Starfield is the one that everyone's excited about. That's like the new... It's not the next Elder Scrolls game, but it's Bethesda. Like, it's their next big game that almost certainly cannot deliver on what people's expectations are.
Yeah, I've also seen enough Baldur's Gate 3 clips that
Bro, it looks so funny. Wait, you don't want to play it anymore? It makes me want to play it so bad.
I think we're talking about two different clips.
Baldur's... Oh, well. Okay, yeah. Okay, I want to tell you the clip that I saw because it's actually worse than like a sex clip. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. I'm going to send you the clip that I saw that made me think I have to play this game. I cannot tell the public. It's not going to be a good look for me, but it made me laugh out loud so hard that I had to do it. Okay, I can say it. It's Cadril, the league caster. It's a clip of him. If you just go to his Twitter, you'll find it. That's all. I'm not going to say anything else. I want to play that game very badly. I'm waiting until it comes out on PlayStation to see how it looks on console because I can't spend any time playing on my computer, basically. But if I can play it on my PlayStation, I'll probably get it because it sounds fun. All right, Hiru wants to know the most interesting game mechanic from another video game, tabletop game, etc. that you've experienced. Interesting mechanic.
I would say probably the most fun would be like the super bounces on Halo 2. Those were a lot of fun and a lot of fun to abuse. Also like double shotting and then like double meleeing. That's probably the most fun I've had with I guess it was kind of a bug, but it was just like a bug that everyone could use. I don't think I've had anything like that from SMITE or any games I've played recently that I've like... Maybe mechanic is the wrong word, but I guess like bug abuse.
Sure. Dude, there were some really fun bug abuses that I used to love in Modern Warfare 2. Oh, the Javelin glitch. Everyone in chat is returning after watching the clip that I mentioned and now judging me very harshly. It's a funny clip, guys. Come on, let's be real. Anyways, I don't know when there was there was a stretch a few years ago. Oh no, now Bear's gonna go watch the clip and judge me. There was a stretch a few years ago where everyone was like, yeah, QuickTime events are bad and they shouldn't be in games. And I'm glad that we've kind of worked past that, because it's really, QuickTime events are really fun. I loved them in like Resident Evil 4, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm just watching Bear's face to see his reaction for this clip. This is going to be really good podcast content. Is me just like waiting to see his physical reaction. Because he probably does that. Final Fantasy 16. Okay, it's so troll, man. It's so troll. Why does that animation look so troll? I can't help but laugh. It's not my fault. They wanted it. They made that funny on purpose, you know? Like, they wanted you to laugh.
Definitely a different clip that I'm talking about.
Yeah, very different. Anyways, yeah, QuickTime events are very cool. I love them in, like, God of War, Spider-Man. Like, having those, like, moments where I can focus more on the action but still feel like I'm not just a spectator to it is something that I wish more single-player games would do. You can't have them in every game, obviously, but it's also really fun when, like, they have unique death sections for, like, when you fail certain parts, like, each part of the QuickTime event. I would go through and I would, like, intentionally die at every button press in the Spider-Man QuickTime events and the Resident Evil 4 QuickTime events, just to, like, see what they came up with for those moments. I think that stuff is really cool. So I wish more games would be not scared of using QuickTime events, but you don't want to overdo them, of course. Okay, guys, it is not that messed up of a clip. It's intended to be funny. You can tell. They wouldn't have animated it in such a troll way if they didn't want to get a laugh. And it made me laugh and made me want to play the game. And I kind of answered Dave's question. What is a game mechanic that you wish was in more games? It's definitely, I'm here for more QuickTime events. I'm here for, like, unlocking, I love, like, I'm trying to just think of, like, some single player game mechanics that I really like. Ghost of Tsushima having a different way to check for your waypoint, like not having a mini map, but in that game, if you wanted to, like, make, you could mark a point on the map in the menu, and then if you wanted to go to it, but they wouldn't have, like, an icon or an indicator in the world for you to follow, but the wind would blow in the direction that you wanted to go, and so you could press a button and make the wind, like a gust of wind, come through, and it would point you in the right direction.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think that was a really cool way to not take you out of the moment, but still give players information. If anyone's a single player game fan and hasn't played Ghost of Tsushima, it is literally one of the greatest games I've ever played in my entire life. There are so many little things that make that game incredible. I could talk about it for like an hour, literally, alone.
Oh.
It's great. Go ahead, Barry.
I remembered a game for the last question. Payday 3.
Okay.
Because I absolutely loved Payday 2. It was such a fun game to play with friends. And I honestly thought there was never going to be another Payday, because it was just kind of like the Half-Life 2 situation where...
Wait, isn't there going to be another Mario baseball game?
Forever.
I think they did announce a new Mario baseball game. Yeah, Mario Superstar Base... Wait, no, this is what... I was like, Mario Superstar Baseball is the old one. Didn't they announce a new one for Switch? Am I trolling?
I have no idea.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying Payday 3. Just because I love Payday 2 so much, it's like the perfect game to play with friends because it's like serious but not serious. And I'm really looking forward to the new one. And I will say that also kind of feeds into Hero's question. I've always liked, I guess this isn't like an interesting game mechanic, but like skill trees that I can feel in the game.
Yes, I love skill trees. They're cool.
And it doesn't need to be like a boring skill tree where it's like I gain like 1 to 2% like attack, and it's like I have to level up several times. Like I want my skill trees to actually feel impactful and to get results from it. Kind of like a Diablo 2 skill tree. Like I used to play like a Necromancer, like a Summoning Necromancer a lot, and I mean, I had no idea like how to level buttons or anything, but just every time I would level up a skill or like get more skeletons or get a stronger like animal, it would always feel impactful to me. So I would just say like important skill trees that actually have depth to them, but also immediate results when you're leveling them up.
Yeah, yeah, big agree.
Which is probably a really hard thing to do.
I thought of one more, and that's just because I did just recently start a New Game Plus playthrough. I don't know the last time I actually completed or even started a New Game Plus run on any game. I'm doing it with Horizon Forbidden West, but the game I did it with the most by far was Resident Evil 4 back in the day on GameCube. And when you would do a New Game Plus run, there would be new weapons that were just like blatantly overpowered in the shop that you could get and play with just like for fun. Basically, it was like an infinite ammo machine gun, an infinite ammo rocket launcher, and just like adding fun little like not making. I just don't. Nothing makes me want to replay a game less than if I were to start a New Game Plus run and it's just I just have all the same things, but it's the exact same game otherwise. Like I'm not getting a whole lot of new things. And I know I'm asking for a lot in that scenario, but it doesn't actually have to be that much. Like Ghost of Tsushima, I actually tried to do another playthrough on New Game Plus because I wanted to replay it, and it just felt like I was just like the same, but I just had access to things earlier, and that didn't feel very good. But in Horizon Forbidden West, there are like a bunch of new legendary weapons that you have to do side quests to get little tokens to buy, which is a great way to make you engage with the side quest type of system again without, making it feel pointless. And there are these like really cool new weapons that I get to play with. Huge fan of things like that. So yeah, just like it, I don't want to minimize any amount of work because here's a little secret about game development. Literally nothing is easy. There is not a single thing that is easy or not a lot of work. But you don't have to reinvent the game. Just adding a few new chase items and things like that, I think does a ton for players who are willing to engage on that level. Which is such a small subsection. I'd be very interested in seeing like what, thinking of Horizon Forbidden West, like what amount of players finish the campaign. I guess you could actually look at like the trophies.
The achievements.
Yeah, the achievements to like see. But I imagine it's not that many. Like well under half is my guess. But yeah, I don't know. I've just been playing a lot of single player games, so it's on my mind. All right, that'll do it. I apologize for subjecting you all to what you just listened to. The good news is that you can at least get delicious, easy, no cleanup meals from Factor Meals by going to factormeals.com/backliners50 and using code backliners50 there. We'll be back probably next week. As always, there will be a chance where we're a little bit more sporadic or someone is stepping in to replace me because of my schedule, but who knows? We're going to try and make it every week because that's what we do around here. Barra, mercy kill this podcast, please. Just this episode, not the whole thing. Don't say something weird and get this whole show canceled. Just say the normal thing. You know what to do.
Bye. Oh gosh.
Wow.
Oh, there was so much saliva in the back of my throat. Bye. Okay, sorry. I had to... There you go.
Wow. That actually fitting.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just tried to force it out, and I was like, maybe I should swallow before this, and I was like, no, I'll keep it in there.
Okay.